Welcome back to Deep Dive Stoic. In today's episode, we're diving into how to become a priority
Oh, this is a good
in different situations, right?
Yeah.
And as always, we're going to be drawing from that ancient Stoic wisdom.
Love it.
You, our listener, the learner, have shared some really fascinating material with us that outlines 9 powerful psychological strategies
9.
aimed at elevating your standing and gaining respect from others. So our goal with this deep dive is to really extract the most impactful
Okay.
and actionable insights from these strategies.
I like it.
And kind of like give you a shortcut to understanding how to be valued and prioritized without feeling overwhelmed
Yeah.
by all the noise out there.
Absolutely.
And we're going to explore how these aren't just manipulative tactics,
Okay.
but really reflect a fundamental shift in mindset rooted in self-worth, a concept that the Stoics really explored in depth.
Yeah, what's interesting right away is how these modern ideas about gaining respect echo some core tenets of Stoicism, particularly around, self-governance and inner strength.
Right.
It makes you wonder if these, quote-unquote new strategies are just rediscoveries of ancient wisdom applied to our contemporary social landscape.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing really new under the sun, right?
Yeah.
So much of what we're talking about today are things that philosophers have been struggling with for centuries.
Millennia.
Exactly. So let's jump right into the first strategy.
Okay.
And this is command your space.
Command your space.
Now, when you first read that, you might think it's about
Yeah.
being loud, demanding attention.
Oh, being aggressive.
Right, exactly. But the material we have suggests something much more nuanced, something I think aligns well with Stoic principles.
Indeed. This isn't about external dominance, but rather an internal sense of self-respect that naturally influences how you interact with the world. Think of the Stoic emphasis on focusing your energy, on what you can control.
Right.
Commanding your space in this context seems to be about consciously directing your attention and presence to situations where your value is recognized, rather than trying to force recognition where it isn't given.
Yeah, and the source material really emphasizes this. It says it's not about ego. It's about self-respect. And it's about, consciously choosing where you invest your time and energy.
Okay.
Specifically in environments where your worth is.
Yep.
Mutually recognized. There's a powerful idea in the source material. You are the emperor of your own self-regard.
I love that. That
Yeah.
ties directly into the Stoic understanding that your own judgment of yourself is the ultimate authority.
Okay, so
Prioritizing environments where your value is acknowledged is simply the external manifestation of that internal self-regard. It's about aligning your actions with your inherent worth, something Seneca wrote about extensively.
makes sense, right? You're in control
Yeah.
of how you view yourself. And that should determine where you spend your time, where you spend your energy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's unpack the second strategy. This one's called Forge Your Own Joy.
Forge your own joy.
This one really resonates with the Stoic emphasis on inner resilience.
Precisely. The source material correctly identifies that anchoring your happiness to external factors, especially other people, is inherently unstable.
Right.
It's like Epictetus said, freedom is secured not by the fulfilling of men's desires, but by the removal of desire.
Yeah, you're removing that external point of failure, basically.
Right. By cultivating internal sources of joy, you become less dependent on external validation.
Makes sense. And the material, it talks about finding pleasure
Yeah.
in routine,
Okay.
in personal achievements, and even quiet contemplation. So
Interesting.
it's like being the rock, as the material says, not the wave only tossed about by
Right.
external circumstances.
Okay.
And it makes intuitive sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. People are naturally drawn to individuals
Yeah.
who are self-sufficient and content.
Yeah, people want to be around people
Yeah.
that are happy.
Right.
They don't want to have to constantly be trying to prop someone up.
Exactly. What's fascinating here is the subtle power dynamic at play. When you are the source of your own happiness, you're not constantly seeking approval or validation from others.
Right.
This self-sufficiency can paradoxically make you more attractive and valued because you're not perceived as needy or dependent.
It makes you more mysterious a little bit, too.
Right, exactly.
Okay, strategy number 3. This one is master the art of presence by absence.
The art of presence by absence.
Now, this might sound a bit counterintuitive. It almost feels like.
Yeah.
You're being told to play hard to get.
I was just thinking that.
Right.
But it's rooted in a fundamental psychological principle. Scarcity increases value.
Right.
Think about it. Because it's not readily available.
Yeah.
The analogy in the source material.
Yeah.
Of gold versus gravel is quite apt.
Right. Like gold is only so valuable because it's so rare.
Exactly. If you are always available, your time and attention can easily be taken for granted.
Yeah. The point isn't to engage in manipulative games,
Right.
but to cultivate a life so full of purpose and passion that your availability is naturally limited. It's about investing in your own growth and pursuits,
Yeah.
which inherently means you won't be everywhere all the time. And the crucial element here from a Stoic perspective is intentionality. Your absence shouldn't be a tactic, but a natural byproduct of a life lived with focus and virtue.
Right.
When you do choose to give someone your time, it carries more weight and feels like a genuine privilege because it's a conscious decision, not a default.
So it should feel like an event, not just an everyday occurrence.
Exactly.
Okay. Strategy number 4, keep your orbit command their interest.
Keep your orbit command their interest.
I love the imagery here.
Yeah.
This idea of being the sun rather than a satellite.
I like that. What's insightful here is the exploration of the paradox of desire.
Often the more intensely you pursue someone or something, the more it might recede.
Yeah, you can almost push them away.
Exactly. If you make another person the absolute center of your world, you risk diminishing your own value and becoming easily overlooked.
Right, you're no longer as interesting.
Exactly. The material uses the analogy of the sun and its planets.
Right.
If you are the sun radiating your own light through a rich and interesting life, then others will naturally feel the pull of your passions.
That makes sense. It's not about feigning disinterest,
Right.
but genuinely cultivating inner fulfillment so that you don't need to constantly orbit others for validation.
Right.
It's about becoming the greener grass through self-alignment.
I love that that's key to Stoic philosophy as well. By focusing on your own character development and living in accordance with virtue, you become a more complete and compelling individual. This intrinsic value naturally draws others in, not through manipulation, but through genuine attraction to your self-possession.
I like that. So strategy number 5, this one is powerful. Hold the power to step back.
Hold the power to step back.
This feels very much in line with Stoic principles
Yeah,
of self-respect
absolutely.
and detachment from outcomes. The willingness to walk away from situations that don't align with your values or that consistently diminish your worth is a profound act of self-respect.
I agree. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our judgments and actions, and sometimes the most virtuous action is to remove ourselves from a harmful or unbalanced dynamic.
Right. It's framed as a strategic retreat, not as giving up out of anger or resentment.
Okay. And there's a compelling point made. Signaling your self-worth by showing you won't settle for less can actually prompt others to reconsider your value and potentially step closer.
Because they realize they might lose you.
Exactly. This highlights the importance of boundaries, a concept that is crucial for maintaining inner peace, something the Stoics highly valued.
Okay.
When you demonstrate that you value yourself enough to walk away, you establish a clear boundary that others are more likely to respect.
Okay. Moving on to strategy number 6.
Yeah.
Cultivate the fear of losing you.
Cultivate the fear of losing you.
Now, the material is careful to clarify that.
Yeah.
This isn't about manipulation or trying to instill anxiety in others.
Right. Precisely. It's about demonstrating your intrinsic worth and self-sufficiency so that your absence would genuinely be felt. The Stoics certainly valued inner strength and not being overly reliant on external validation.
Okay.
This strategy is about subtly recalibrating attention by focusing on your own well-being and pursuits.
So it's about actually genuinely
Right.
cultivating this life.
Right. It suggests diversifying your attention across various interests and relationships so that your presence isn't taken for granted in any one area.
Right.
The underlying idea is that people often realize the value
Yeah.
of something or someone when they face the possibility of losing them.
Yeah. It's the old, you don't know what you've got till it's gone kind of thing.
Exactly. When your attention and presence aren't guaranteed, they become more valued. It encourages a more balanced dynamic where others are mindful of your worth and choose to prioritize you rather than take your presence for granted.
I like it. Okay, strategy number 7.
Okay.
This one delves into the allure of the unsaid mystery
The allure of the unsaid mystery.
in today's world of constant oversharing on social media and elsewhere. This feels particularly relevant.
Indeed. The Stoics understood the power of reserve and the value of thoughtful communication.
Yeah.
The material suggests that. Holding back, sharing just enough to pique interest, what it calls. A tease of your depth can be a powerful way to command attention.
Right. It talks about giving broad strokes rather than fine details. When asked about your past or your current endeavors,
Okay.
which invites curiosity and makes you, as the source says, a puzzle they can't help but want to solve.
I like that. This taps into our natural human curiosity.
Right.
By not revealing everything immediately, you create a sense of intrigue and encourage deeper engagement.
It's like unfolding layers.
Exactly. It's about allowing people to discover your layers rather than presenting them all at once.
Okay, strategy number 8. This one is the currency of investment.
The currency of investment.
This one focuses on how people tend to value what they put their own effort
Yeah.
and resources into.
What's insightful here is the idea of reciprocal value.
What?
When someone invests their time, energy, or even resources in getting to know you or spending time with you,
Yeah.
they naturally place a higher value on that interaction and on you as an individual.
Right.
The material emphasizes being approachable, but not at the expense of being undervalued.
Right. So it suggests being honest about your commitments
Okay.
and acknowledging their effort when they make time for you. Appreciation acts as a positive reinforcement, encouraging further investment. It's
Right.
about creating a dynamic where your time and attention are seen as valuable, not something freely available,
Yeah.
without any effort on their part.
That aligns with the Stoic principle of reciprocity in relationships. Healthy connections involve a balance of give and take. By allowing others to invest in you, you're fostering a more balanced and appreciative dynamic.
I like it. Okay. Our final strategy, number 9.
Number 9, wow.
This one is the art of silence.
The art of silence.
This builds on the idea
Yeah.
of the allure of the unsaid, but focuses specifically on communication dynamics.
Okay. The absence of voice. As the material states, can indeed be more impactful than constant communication if
Yeah.
you're always the one initiating contact. Or filling every silence, you might inadvertently lessen your perceived value and create an imbalance in the relationship.
You're doing all the work.
Exactly. It suggests that holding back can signal that your attention and communication are not given lightly.
Okay.
It creates space for the other party to reach out, revealing their level of interest and investment.
So you give them the opportunity
Okay.
to show you how much they care.
Exactly. This isn't about playing games.
Right.
It's about rebalancing the dynamics of interaction and allowing their interests to manifest.
And letting that silence speak volumes.
Right. It's about allowing others to demonstrate their investment in the relationship and fostering a deeper appreciation for communication when it does occur.
Okay.
Silence can create anticipation and make your contributions more impactful when you do speak.
Yeah, so it's really all about taking back that power a little bit.
Exactly.
So, as we conclude our deep dive into these 9 powerful psychological strategies,
Okay.
just to recap, those are: command your space, forge your own joy, master the art of presence by absence, keep your orbit, command their interest, hold the power to step back, cultivate the fear of losing you, the allure of the unsaid mystery, the currency of investment, and the art of silence. What are the overarching principles that tie them together from a Stoic perspective?
Well, I think the common thread here is a focus on inner strength, self-respect, and living in accordance with your values.
Okay.
These strategies, when applied thoughtfully and ethically, aren't about manipulating others, but rather about cultivating your own inherent worth and allowing that value to be recognized naturally.
I like that.
They encourage a shift from seeking external validation to building internal resilience and self-possession.
Yeah. So ultimately, all of these strategies are things that you can control.
Right.
Which is very Stoic.
Very Stoic.
It's about finding that crucial balance, the balance between kindness and self-respect, between engaging with the world and protecting your inner peace,
Right.
and between investing in relationships and maintaining your own sense of self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
It's about embodying the virtues that the Stoics championed and allowing that to shape how you interact with the world.
This leaves us with a final point for reflection. Consider which of these strategies resonates most. With your current experiences, where might you be inadvertently diminishing your own value? And what small Stoic-aligned steps can you take to cultivate a greater sense of self-worth and present that authentically to the world?
That's a great point to end on. Thank you all for being a part of this podcast with us. If this episode helped you slow down and reflect, support Deep Dive Stoic. Like, subscribe, and pass it on. See you next time.